HR Famous is brought to you by HRU Tech, a contingent staffing firm specializing in engineering, IT, and technically related placements across multiple industries. If you're looking for technical talent or searching for a career, look no further than HRU Tech. Find them online at hrutech.com and call them today. HR Famous is also brought to you by Kinetics, the leading RPO recruiting firm for growth companies, named by HRO Today as the top midsize RPO provider. Kinetics uses its unique skill-based recruiter model to deliver on RPO engagements, allowing them to customize scope to meet your unique hiring needs. If you have recruiting challenges and want to consider RPO as a solution, give Kinetics a call. Find them online at kineticshr.com.
HR Famous, what's up? It's JLee here, and you guys can't see us because you just hear us. But if you could only see what I see right now with my friends, Kris Dunn and Tim Sackett. You know, actually in our last episode, guys, we were talking about what we're streaming, and I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but now I'm going to. And we were talking about Station 11, which Sackett and I both quite enjoyed. And given your where you live, Tim, I actually was curious, like the reference to like the lakes and being in Michigan. Like, did that hit home for you? Like, did you have a feeling in reaction to that?
Well, no, it's super funny because Severn City, which is a reference to the city that the airport is actually Traverse City, Michigan. That's what they were referencing. Because they kept going to the gas station that had Petoskey, and that's a city that's right by Traverse City. But Severn City's airport is literally like 2 gates. It's like tiny, really.
Interesting.
So in the airport they were in was like a major kind of airport. Right?
Yeah.
But definitely, and like the whole circle around like the Great Lakes and all that stuff. Like my thing is always, you know, like why would they ever choose that as like their place when if you were in a frozen Chicago and this all happened, wouldn't you go south? You'd go to Birmingham and see
that's
KD,
true.
you know?
Well, that's true. But you know, in a lot of these things, you go north anyways. Like freedom is in Canada. Like that is the promised land. Like you want to go to Canada, but you're right. It's colder. Kris, do you think we should have come down south too? Like the birds fly south.
I'm really reacting. Wait, freedom's in Canada? Did I miss a memo?
Well, that's because you guys don't watch Handmaid's Tale. That's like in Handmaid's Tale, freedom's in Canada. Like that is the promised land. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Mounties.
What was the Patrick Swayze movie where they were the Wolverines and they were fighting and they all tried to get, and they all tried to go they tried to go north because again, that's where kind of Canada was, you know.
I only know one.
The Russians took over.
Movie.
What was that one? Red Dawn.
Red Dawn.
I don't know. You can't. There's only one Patrick Swayze movie in my book.
Roadhouse.
No.
It's a great.
You're just saying these things to like mess with me now. Of course, the only Patrick Swayze movie is Dirty Dancing. Which like is the best and only movie of his that exists.
Every time I see KD, I run at him like that, thinking that we're going to do that.
Does he like lift you up?
He never tries. No, he bails on me.
That's with Jennifer Grey, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. It is pre-nose job.
I mean, I was just going to bring it up. I'm glad you brought it up instead of me, JLee. That's a monumental piece of surgery.
You know what? So I am not looking for your guys' opinion, but I've always wanted a nose job. Just fun fact. And my husband will always say like, but you're going to look like a different person. He's like, remember like that one person, like, you know, who's that one celebrity where like, she just looks so different after the nose job. And of course I assume he's talking about Jennifer Grey, but the last time we talked about this, even just like within the last few weeks, I was like, Jennifer Grey, the woman in like Dirty Dancing. He's like, no, you know, like she's the sister of a pop star. He was referencing Ashley Simpson. And I'm like, that is the most random thing that like your reference point for his nose jobs that like tremendously changed someone's appearances. Ashley Simpson. Like, That's just really shocking to me because he also doesn't follow pop culture that much, but apparently
I just quickly had to Google the Jennifer Grey old nose, new nose, and like the internet exploded with a 5,000 pictures, and it's definitely a drastic change. By the way, I actually like old Jennifer, like old nose Jennifer Grey.
Do?
Original nose. The nose her mama gave her. Yeah.
Well, you know, someday if I'm like, well, I got a deviated septum, guys, I got to go under for something, then you'll know what really happened. Kris, I wanted to go backwards, though, to last year to ask you about something because I haven't heard anything about this. So you went through a phase where you were trying to do, 100 pull-ups a day? What happened? Yeah. Are you still doing that?
Well, I don't get them every day, JLee, but I am now to the place where when I do it, like I actually may do it this afternoon. I may just go crank them out. Like I'll do, instead of 100, I'll do 120 to 150.
What? Oh, wow.
So it's been great. And I can get.
How long does that take?
Well, I go it depends. It depends how many reps I do.
Stand up and take your shirt off. I want to see. Come on.
Well, I mean, I don't like to brag, Tim.
Come on. I want to see.
But it's been really good.
He's blushing now.
He is blushing.
So you can just I know you can. You can crank out 120, and you just go for it. That's nice.
Yeah, and I can get the interesting thing is my hands have gotten stronger with it, so I can do the reverse grip is how most people would do it because it allows them to get a better grip. I can go like this, and I get the same number of reps. So I can do hanging. Pull-ups, I can get 18 or 19 at a time now.
Wow.
If I want.
Good for you.
So the question is now going to become, if and when you're traveling, do you travel with a pull-up bar now that you just install in the hotel bathroom door?
No, I don't.
But that hangs off the balcony of the hotel.
That would be dope.
Okay, well, here's what I did want to talk about. I'm looking for some etiquette feedback on how to handle situations. So, still can't figure out this working from home hybrid thing. And we're on these calls all the time. And I was on a call the other day, and the person I was on the call with, I'm pretty sure they were at a standing desk. And so they're at a standing desk. And the reason why I'm pretty sure they're at a standing desk is because the physical movement of their posturing was were kind of swaying back and forth. And so I could tell they're shifting their weight on their feet. And so what basically happened the whole call.
The baby sway thing, right? What do you call that?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It was that. So they were swaying back and forth, left to right, the whole call. And it was kind of a tense conversation, to be honest. And so you have this tense conversation mixed in with this person swaying back and forth. And I thought they were going to jump into the screen and throwing a punch, because it was there was almost this, oh, I'm not happy. I'm swaying back and forth. And it also was making me dizzy at the same time. And so I just was wondering at a certain point, can you say something to someone, or am I just time maintenance and I just need to leave it alone? I really afterwards, and I texted to someone else on the call. I was like, there's a lot of swaying there. Were you dizzy? And you might just need to tell me grow up. You're a baby. It's fine. But or if you have a standing desk, is there etiquette you should follow? I think that's really what I'm looking for. I don't know, Tim. Am I just a baby?
I do not know. I don't think you're off base. So I do a bunch of webcasts for SHRM. And the guy that runs the webcast is Mike Frost. He's an amazing guy, super nice guy. And one time I'm doing something and he sends me a message. He's like, dude, stop touching you're at a standing desk. I'm like, yes. He's like, stop putting your hands on the desk because it's moving the camera. And you don't realize, people are watching this and you're you're moving around. He's like, it's like Blair Witch, and I'm like, holy crap, yes. I didn't even realize,
So there are things that you don't even realize you're doing. But so then, Katie, the question then becomes, should I call the person out and be like, hey, man, just next time, I don't know if you're aware, but you're making us all dizzy as you're swaying back and forth.
So a couple of things, JLee.
Is that a coaching moment? Yeah.
So
back in the moment.
Couple of things, JLee. Aren't you the one who told us you'll just think nothing of eating a bowl of spaghetti on a video call? Just
walks over, makes lunch, comes back.
Yeah, I mean, just like the way in our last podcast episode, you're eating a rye turkey sandwich. Same thing.
So I'm the type of guy, JLee, that when, like, this is the best example I can give you. The standing thing, like, equates into some swaying, especially for people who are taller than 5'4". Okay.
Why are you staring at
That's
me?
not me.
Why are you
the taller,
at me,
the taller you are, the more there can be a little bit of swaying. Just think of it like as a tower in the wind.
I was
Like
just thinking that,
slightly,
like when there's an earthquake, there's like just
slightly
a sway
shifting, slightly shifting. By the way, I can't stand for the national anthem at a game without swaying, right? So I think what you do, pro tip.
But that's because you are like an all-American, full of pride person. You feel the anthem and you just, it's in your bones, like you're swaying to it.
I think, but I might sway in similar circumstances of standing. So I think what you do, Kris Dunn life coach would say, you just mention it to this individual to say, hey, I've got a friend who sways during the national anthem. That's probably like, you were kind of giving me that vibe the other day. You just plant the seed, and then the next time he or she is on the call with you, it's in their head. You just made the reference. You don't even have to ask them to stop. They'll stop.
Jay, does he have like a young baby, like a new father? Because like, again, that is something that you're so used to having the baby doing this. And then all of a sudden, like you see like people all the time like doing this, and you're like,
you're right.
Like, hey, you don't have your baby right now.
Yeah. Or I would like do the bouncing up and down with the baby. Without a baby, just bounce up and down. But now that you guys we're talking about this, I'm feeling a little bit of shame because I don't go into the office that often, but when I do, there's always like something on my desk, like a note or something. There was a book on my desk that was not my book, and there was a note on it that said, your boss thought you might enjoy this book, and it was his assistant who left the book for me. And I looked at the book, and the book was called Digital Body Language. And I didn't actually ask anyone, like, why did he give me the book? Perhaps he was trying to drop me a signal of stop beating on camera and have more grace when others are swaying, but maybe you can coach them also when they're swaying. So maybe I just
ordered you a book off Amazon. It's called Eating Spaghetti on Zoom and Other Tales from the Pandemic.
By the way, I'm not eating spaghetti, but right now I am on a soup kick because I'm so cold all the time, and specifically tomato soup. And so
nothing's better than a slurpy slurp on a video call.
Well, no, it's not a slurpy slurp because I think I'm pretty like good at like just doing it, but like you just see me with like this red bowl of soup, like I'm just eating my red bowl of tomato soup, and it's delicious. It's Trader Joe's soup. So anyways, okay, on to our real topic. First topic, I want to talk about coaching in the workplace because coaching is all the rage. I get so many emails about like coaching apps, professional coaches, and I just want to dig into like, why is this all the rage? Who is moving into the coaching space? And I think I have an idea of like, a really big next idea related to coaching. But Can we first talk about who goes into coaching and why is this all the rage? Or did I miss it? I don't know. I just feel like I'm being inundated lately with like people who are now like coaches. Like coaches are everywhere.
I literally had I have a woman reach out to me. I was going to say girl because she's so much younger than me. She seems like a girl. She's 3 years out of college, and she is starting her company as a professional speaking coach for leaders. And I'm like, you've never been a leader. So I mean, I get it. Maybe like you're just like, hey, I'm just helping people who are afraid to speak publicly. Like that's one thing. Seems young. I would say the vast majority, in my opinion, of people who are the reason we have such this influx of coaches is it's the whole like baby boomer people retired because of the pandemic. Like we had 3.5 million people leave the workforce early than what they like traditionally than what they would because of COVID. And they're sitting at home going, wait a minute, I probably shouldn't have left. I need something to do something. And so we have this influx of kind of older people, who weren't ready to quit. So they think they have like God's gift to, being the leader of the world, like at their palm of their hand or something.
Katie, when does a coach make sense? Like, I think there could be value in coaching. Like, when does coaching make sense?
Well, first, JLee, there were executive coaches, right? That's where all this started. Life coaching came in right around the same time. And I think what you've seen is, like, think about the rise like of social media and the fact that people like can do brand building activities and they can say they're a coach without really creating a career in such. So then you see all these different coaches like down market in corporations, right? Where an associate could get a coach if you want to spend the development dollars on them. There's coaches in every walk of life, fitness. I mean, like you name it. I just think it's like this perfect storm between, we started with executive coaching, it came down market, and then people like try and build brands and do all this brand building activity really without a book of business. And it just seems like there's 1,000 coaches for every person that needs the help.
There's so many coaches. And I guess I've never engaged a coach ever. I think I just probably text you guys or bring my questions to this podcast when I'm trying to work through something. But I had this idea and I'm curious what you think. So like, I feel like isn't some of this just like someone to help you make good decisions or someone to help you like think through something? And so part of me is wondering, could this not be automated? Could this not be a bot or AI that you're just like engaging with over text or in an app that's going to help you get through it? Like, I'm just trying to really wrap my head around like, when does it even make sense to pay $250 an hour for a coach when like maybe you just need to talk to someone and engage with like, like if I'm bored sometimes I'll just like go to the Amazon app and like, the customer service bots, they're really good at chatting. Like, is this the same thing? You just need like a bot, an AI thing. And those, the Amazon customer service like chats are getting really good. Like their bots are good. I mean, that's
like do they give you life advice yet? That'd be nice. Like maybe you don't need
they tell me like, stop shopping so much. Like you want to return this. Well, maybe you shouldn't buy so much. Like they're really good at giving me advice. So I don't know if that's what we need in the workplace too. It's just a matter of automated and like some like a chat, like a text-based chat, and a bot. Is that a thing? That's my idea right now.
Hi, this is Stacey Harris.
And this is Terry Zipper. And we're the host of the two podcasts under the HR Huddle.
On Spilling the Tea on HR Tech, we uncover the latest trends, truths, and challenges from Sapient Insight Group's groundbreaking research and our analyst insights, serving up everything you need to know about HR tech with no sugarcoating.
And on HR, we have a problem. We tackle the toughest workplace challenges head on, offering you expert advice and actionable solutions to help HR leaders thrive in today's fast-changing world. Whether you want the scoop on tech or tools to solve people problems, we've got you covered.
Take a listen and subscribe. If you want to become part of our community, we'd love to see you.
I think,
by the way, Jay, Ben Brooks, right? Like he's a friend of FOT, and he used to be, gosh, what the heck? He was a corporate leader of like learning and development for some big company in New York. He started his own company, a coaching technology called Pilot. So there's a ton of coaching technologies out there already.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think there is probably, again, the AI and the machine learning part of this, like there's probably someone who will figure this out. Like if you put enough inputs in about yourself and you're honest, my guess is an algorithm could spit out some really great advice for you.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I just think it's like, it's a line of questions that you need someone to ask you. Like, did you think about this? Did you think about that? It's like a decision tree type of thing. And then you just need a little pep talk at the end saying like, you got it, kid, like go get it. And then I'm going to be like, yeah, I do got it. I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a session with a professional life coach?
I mean, I've had like a coaching session with like Deloitte people, and then I felt really good afterwards. But no, I went to a therapist once.
Yeah.
Only once.
I had one. I had a boss get me one which I took as a slam. Like, well, I don't need it. I don't need a coach. Like, why? And she was all into it. She was like, no, it's not about that. I love my coach. I meet with him, every week, blah, blah, blah. And I want to do this for you. I think it'll be amazing. And at the end of it, I was like, all you're doing is having me tell you everything about, like, it's basically agreeing to what I already would say, right? Like, I didn't get anything out of it, really. Like, I was like, this is like, how much are they getting paid? Like, that's all I could think in my head was, how much are you getting paid for me to answer your stupid questions? And it's not doing anything for me. So I'm like, whatever.
Katie, you're contemplating something on this.
I think he's a career as a life coach.
Christian Dunn, life
Christian
coach.
Dunn,
you don't like that we're spending on your life coach.
Christian Patrick Dunn, life coach. Well, both of you, like I would tell you as Christian Patrick Dunn, life coach, both of you have excellent points. But really, that's what separates the true coaches from the pretenders. A true coach is there, to Tim's point, to listen. But really, it becomes an accountability partner and a troubleshooter for difficult relationships in your company. That's really it. It's an accountability partner to make sure that you have to answer to somebody to get stuff done that no one else in the company will tell you to do. And then to brainstorm with somebody. Hey, I was talking to Tim Sackett the other day. He got like real pushy, like about this, and he kind of ran me over. And it's someone to listen, ask questions, and then to give you better ways to engage the Tim Sacketts of the world, and to do it in an uplifting way that makes you, to your earlier point, JLee, believe in your potential as an associate and as a future leader, a current and future leader.
Katie, where do I sign up? I need Katie.
I love it.
Christian Patrick Dunn, life coach.
I would pay you a couple $100 an hour for that. Sure. I like it.
I'm invoicing right now, like JLee. So you don't even have to ask. Now, what I will say, I do believe that there's like a lot of bad coaches out there, and I've never used a coach, but I think like the right person, if you're struggling to get where you want to get in your career, it is accountability and it's troubleshooting relationships, right? And it's like, go away, try this. That's what it is. I think so I'm a big percentage guy. So I think the big question is, what percentage of it, like executive coaches or corporate coaches, can actually deliver the goods? If you believe what I just said, what percentage can actually deliver the goods in this kind of ebb and flow that has to happen to make you feel great and to help you get things done? I'll give you my percentage. I think it's probably 10 to 20% can actually do it in a way that will meet you where you're at, like with their own style and philosophy, and help you get to a better place.
Man,
I will say, like, these virtual coaches, though, I did sign up for, you guys would never get these ads because, like, Kris, you're doing hundreds of pull-ups, but like, I think it was one New Year's, because everyone has a resolution around losing weight. I signed up for Noom. Have you ever seen the ads for Noom? They're like, you want to lose weight? It's all about the psychology. So I'm like, oh, I'll sign up for this. And they have a virtual digital base. It was a virtual coach to like talk to you about the psychology of your decisions and habits. And I was like, this person's a total whack job. And I put the description right there. Because I was like, you're an awful coach. Like, you're not going to help me make better decisions. And I don't need you. I have it all in myself. So yes, they're just horrible coaches out there. All right. Well, this is interesting. I'm going to keep noodling on it because I think like the difference between a mentor, a coach, what's the role of your own manager, the idea about accountability and decision making, I think is interesting. But I'm also like, isn't that your manager's job? So I'm going to keep noodling on this as I keep getting ads for coaches upon coaches and solution after solution. That's an interesting one.
By the way, JLee, I would say 10% of the invites I get on LinkedIn are people offering to help me become a better life coach through scheduling appointments and stuff like that. Because my headline on LinkedIn is, I'm not a life coach. I swear to God,
So
I get
funny.
nonstop virtual people reaching out, and their whole job is just to work with a life coach in terms of getting them in their brand and blah, blah, blah. And again, it's just another racket of someone going, oh, if you want to be a great life coach, you have to have a marketer and a virtual assistant and blah, blah,
Oh,
blah. Pay me and I'll milk more of your retirement money away from you. It's like, it's so stupid.
what a racket. All right, third topic. This is, again, me being selfish. This is what happens when I get to be in the driver's seat and host an episode. And I don't know that I so much have a question for myself. I think I have an opinion, but I was curious, like, about this topic. So for many organizations that do performance reviews on a calendar year, they're probably in the cycle right now of like wrapping up your performance review from the prior year, having those conversations with the person to see how the year was. And in many organizations, that's also the time at which you're having a conversation about pay increases, if you're so lucky as to get one, like your bonus and all of that. And I think that in some organizations, I have seen like the practice of, oh, we want to separate the pay from the performance conversation. And like you can go like do the pay conversation later, just keep the performance conversation pure. And I've never understood that. And so I just was like putting my old HR hat on about like, why do some of these practices exist? And is it really possible to like separate the two from one another? And I don't even know if there's like an origin story of like why we would separate pay from the performance review, like the whole like merit increase pay conversation from the performance review. Like, where did that come from? Why does that happen? Does that even happen anymore still?
Katie, wasn't this around? Because JLee, by the way, I agree with you. I think it's ridiculous because it is. I think it's when companies had like, hey, it's a straight merit increase of 2% across the board. Like, why have that when you're doing performance? Let's talk about your performance and talk about how we can get you better or whatever you have to focus on, blah, blah, blah. Down the road, everybody's getting the same pay anyway. So like, it's not really tied to performance. Now, once you tied pay to performance, then of course, like you have to have that conversation, even if it's like one of these stupid matrices where you go, hey, you're the highest person, you're getting 3%. You're the lowest person, you're getting 1%. And then people are getting 1.5s and 2s and 2.5s in between, which seems meaningless in the overall grand scheme of stuff. But at least there's a little bit of difference, right, between the lowest performer and the highest performer. But I think it was all like, if you decouple it, it's because it's just a straight merit increase across the board for everybody versus, or maybe just a market increases. I don't know. Katie?
I think that would be cost of living before inflation, like really like spiked this year, right? I mean, if you decouple it from performance, it's a cost of living increase. And, as companies get bigger, like most small companies don't do merit increases, right? Like small companies just getting started out, pay people what they can, and they try and reward the performers. And there's not a merit matrix involved in small companies. And it's when they get bigger and maybe complaints happen or they start hiring people that are used to that, then the structure comes in. With formal comp comes that structure. And there's a lot of good reasons for that. But, if you really want pay for performance, probably the best way to do it is to not have merit increases at all.
Yeah.
And to pay people like what they're worth and to do a review of everybody like on your team, multiple times a year and make sure that you're not at risk in a really dynamic like marketplace and make necessary adjustments. And that's full, right, of forced choice. It's full of, okay, if I want to really make Jessica Lee feel valuable, I'm going to have to get to what, JLee? Give me the percentage, 8 or 10% this year. And the whole 3 to 4% isn't going to work out. It's just, it's a philosophy thing, right? But I think if you decouple it, you're talking about cost of living increases. So you clearly say that it's not performance related.
My very first pay increase I got in a corporate position was 3. And I looked at that guy like his head was on, like it was going to explode. Like, what are you talking about? 3%? Like,
I'd like to introduce you to a life coach based on your reaction.
Like I had no concept of like I'm like, again, like, so, I mean, that was the conversation of, hey, by the way, that's the most I can give you because you're the top performer. Like, it was like, he was so excited, right, to tell me because I wasn't getting the 1% or the 1.5%. And I was just like, I made a bad career choice. of going into HR.
So let me ask you guys this related. Let's say you couple the conversation about like the increase with the performance review and the performance rating. So like for me, I'm like, let's just cut straight to the chase. I'm going to tell you what your performance review rating was. I'm going to tell you what the, comp situation is. And then we can talk about like the details and like how the year was and like blah, 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 how you did on meeting your goals, blah, blah, blah. Like I just want to cut straight to the chase because for me, like I don't want to dance around for 45 minutes with my own boss, like waxing on about how I did, how the year was. I'm like, just give it to me. Like, you know what I'm motivated by? Tell me what the rating is. Tell me what the increase is. I want to know. But I also don't know if that's just like tacky, like classless. And so like, is that what most people want to know? Or does it really depend on the person? Like, I just want to cut straight to the chase. And I think I actually do this with most of my team. And now I'm reflecting on like, oh, maybe that's just what I want. Maybe that's not what they want.
What if you said like, hey, I'm going to tell you what your pay increase is and like just say, here's what it is. And then a week later, we're going to sit down and do your review. Because now they've already really kind of went through all the mental either highs and lows or whatever of that. And now they're really listening, because now they have to listen to, let's talk about real performance because money is not on the table.
That's interesting.
It's already done, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that conversation, like even think about yourself. Like if they said, hey, JLee, obviously you're amazing. We're giving you a 47% increase. And you're like, okay, sweet. And then a week later, we're going to talk about your performance. And all of a sudden there's some things in there like you need to improve on. You're probably actually listening to that better, right? Than something where you go, whatever, I got 47%, like F you, I'm great.
Why is it not 50, like 47?
Right.
Why like round it up to the 50? Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just going to sit there fuming rather than listening to any of the actual feedback.
Mm-hmm. Katie.
Katie's just.
What do you think,
I mean,
Katie?
you say you want to cut to the chase. What I would say, like as a semi assertive like person to you, JLee, like if I like lay down the papers and like, JLee, thanks for joining me. I'm kind of joking around anyway. Thanks for joining me, Jessica. And you're like, hey, so you've had like a bad week or whatever, and you're just kind of like into me automatically. Like that's a special like situation.
No,
and
but
I would be like,
I would never say that. It's just in my head. I'm like, I'm sitting, hands folded in my lap, smiling, ready for the conversation. But in my head, I'm like, let's
just tell me.
I'm not
how much money am I getting?
Come on. I'm better than that. But in my head, I'm like, come on.
So JLee, we're going to talk about both money and performance today. I want to preface this with the fact that the money's never going to be what you want. So take the money.
Deflated at that point.
Well, here's what I would tell you. You didn't let me finish, which is probably how this conversation would go. So, because of just this whole merit process, the money's probably not going to be what you want. I think the more important thing in this session is the feedback and the back and forth about what's possible and where you need to get better to make this what you want it to be. So I would go in, like, if I know you're aggressive like that and you're already like angling, I would just go in and like acknowledge, hey, this is not going to be like, you're going to see this as transactional. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the number now. It's like 5.5%. And I got 5.5% because there's this grid that I go by. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called the merit matrix.
That Ted in executive comp gave me.
And by the way, you are like your upper, like between
quartile,
the box to the far right and the one in the middle, like you're right in the thing. So if you want to know all that, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about 3 things I love about you and 3 things that I think if you want 12% next year, here's what's got to happen.
12%.
I thought we were at 47.
By the way, is that chapter 7? Best boss ever?
We were at 47, but then I heard your reaction to your past manager, and I learned from that. I'm just like, well, that didn't work. So why wouldn't I spread this around a little bit and just like bite off this tough conversation, take the bull by the horns, and let's go.
Oh man, I do like performance review time. Actually, like I think that's it's a fun time. You know, it's like you take a step back.
Here's the place. Like if we just talk about performance, here's the thing that people miss. This is included in Best Boss Ever, out June 2022. No big deal. The thing people miss is they don't contrast good versus great enough. Yeah. Because if we're talking about
good versus great is hard. Yeah.
Right. That's the thing people miss. That's the thing people don't engage on, because if we really have an honest conversation about what's good versus great, we know that good, like JLee's good versus great is different than somebody without as much performance and potential. So I can decouple.
The big mistake, people like turning average into great. Like, you know,
correct.
Just someone
right.
came into the job and like, oh,
well, they won't. That's exactly right. They won't engage on the difference, right? They won't say, "Hey, I've got you." If I have to say it, I'll say it, right? I've got you as a meets in this area. I thought you did some things really, really well. Here's a couple of examples. I think that is consistent with everything I see, but great is reserved for like really special performance. And here's some things I think you need to add to get to like that thing. I think people hide from that feedback. It's hard to do, but you know, it's kind of similar to like the way, like I jumped into this conversation, then I'll get out, JLee, but I think you've got to go in hot and you've got to make the feedback so valuable that they understand the limitations of the company with the money, but you've got to connect yourself so well to that employee as a manager to make the feedback special, to know that there's a bigger game that they're trying to like drive you towards and make them trust that.
Yeah.
Make them trust that they've got your best interest in mind. Go ahead. I'm done.
Well, no, I think that's important. Like making sure they understand that like where the place is coming from is with their best interests at heart, for sure. By the way, I was going to say this good to great concept. Like that's so like, I think we do enough of good versus great, even just like in the flow of the day to day. Like we're always like, oh yeah, that's good. And you just keep going. But like, that's where like rubber really hits the road. Like in the moment, that was good. But like, ratchet it up this way and then you're at great, because like if it's good then you just keep going because like you don't have time. And there's
you're right, it's like there. And by the way, that goes back to your coaching like model, JLee. Like the best coaching from a manager is good versus great in the moment, right? It's like, hey, that project was awesome, we just had the meeting, and you know what would have been great? Like it was really good work. You did everything you were supposed to do, but the great thing was you didn't influence that person before the meeting. You didn't like neutralize them, and they came in here and they kind of threw up all over it a little bit for show. Whereas if you would have got to them, they couldn't have done that. So.
Wow, maybe I could be a life coach myself. That's interesting. If I ever, need a second career, perhaps that's what it is. Well, that's what we've got for today. This is JLee. It's been another wonderful episode of HR Famous. And for my friends Kris Dunn and Tim Sackett, we are out.